They call that a pound where the aeroboat's weight. It's quite an extensive, clean looking pound, I think. As you're leaving Liverpool towards going into civilization. That's a nice, tidy, well kept lock. Train above again. And we've got, I think the word is ubiquitous, isn't it? Graffiti that announces you're coming to a built up area, Liverpool. But nice, not bad graffiti really, is it? It says a message. One day they'll look at this and it'll say a bit of history of the town in the news system maybe. This is the start of the Leeds-Liverpool Canal going into the docks. That's the black hole that leads into Liverpool. Although the Stanley flight is quite a nice clean and tidy area, I think. And it's got a bad reputation, but I think, well, they're fishing there, those kids and an adult. And that's the first lock. First lock as we see it. Been told to take my pictures in landscape, so should we tip the picture over and try landscape, see what happens. Wow. So if it's upside down, it might be. I think it should be the other way. There we are, that's better. So you see all the locks, I think there's 5 of them. Quite a reasonable day. And there's a railway line, so if you're ever going into Liverpool, you can see the Stanley locks from the bridge. What do they call it? The viaduct. So we'll see what happens further on. That's what I mean. It's Stanley Lock is a tidy area. The Canal and River Trust have gone to all the trouble of producing a nice little flower bed, and there's a few more around here. And trying to show the historical value of this area, Stanley Locks, because that's where the Leeds-Liverpool Canal starts. So I might get a few people coming and looking, but any attempt to beautify an area, wildlife, wildflowers, I think it's beautiful. There's a few more over there. Someone's left a lock half open there, and there's seagulls around. As you'd expect in Liverpool, wouldn't you? That's the first boat I've seen, a moored plastic boat, I think they call that. And it widens out as you get to the first lock here, you see. And a council estate right next to the place, but I don't know if it's a council estate, no, they're nice houses. The flowers and trees, and a few wildflowers and chrysanthemums, I think, over there. So, not a bad area, is it? And the building there, I think, more flats. So it might be a well sorted out area in the end. And isn't that a nice tree? It's a weeping willow, I think you call that. So, not a bad area. Bit of graffiti there again, but quite tiny graffiti really. Oh, and this next bridge. I mean, let's start collecting bridges, shall we? You see it in the distance under the weeping willow. But quite a bit of effort into that bridge. It's not a cheap thing, is it? Throw together with wrought iron. And I think there's a date on that. I think it was it's 1883 at a guess. But we'll have a closer look to it. And they've got the liver bird on it. Can you see it from here? I mean, it's well maintained. Must be regularly painted black and white, or grey and white. And in the park there's a solitary chair. Can you see it? Not a bench, it's a chair for one person who can come and contemplate next to the canal what's it all about. Maybe you can get 2 people, but I don't know. There's a coot there as well, of course. Did see a coot earlier on with some babies, and incredibly young, that hardly had any eyes. Hope I can find them again. They were down here somewhere. So as we get towards that bridge, I'll keep it running because we're going into speed of a boat mainly. There's something called Riverside there. What's it? Your place? Maybe a youth club or something. So, I think it's a nice area. Why didn't we ever think of living in Stanley Park? So, what is that? Of course, there's a bit of graffiti which spoils it in that case. But a nice bridge called Lee Bridge. And it's got the cormorant, the liver bird. Well-known liver bird, which is cormorant, which is on the top of the liver buildings. But if anyone else says to you, where else can you see a liver bird? In the bridge. Lee Bridge. And can you see the it's 18. It's coming closer now. I'm going to walk in the canal. 1861. 1861. There we have it. And the collection of geese there. It's Canadian geese. A few sea birds. And I just saw a wagtail just dart across. But went too quickly. It was a wagtail. I can see it in the distance there, but I'd have to zoom in. I don't know how to do that. And a little solitary coot pecking away. Well, one coming towards me here. Darting like mad, thinks I've got some bread. Oh, 3 of them are. 4 or 5. 5 of them here. Wow. Now, where are those little babies gone? Fee would be very concerned about those if she was here. The little baby ones. The youngest, it must have been just hatched a day earlier or so. And we're coming up to, there's some nice benches there again. Same style as the other solitary one. You see them. And we get towards another fine bridge. And I think that's got an earlier date than 1861. And again, that's got the liver bird on it. You see that? Another lot of graffiti. Wow. Liverpool Film Studios. That must be a famous landmark. They've certainly got a lot of nice colourful pictures to take on this graffiti. And further down at the very, very end there, if you can see, it's another one of those black and white bridges. Amazing. Just to prove it, it's Liverpool 1 mile. I think I probably started from half a mile out. I couldn't go nearer to Liverpool because there was no towpath. I would have tried. Now, what's to say on this other side? It's going to say Leeds. And it's going to be a terrific distance. 126 and a quarter mile. 126 and a quarter mile. So a long way to go. More graffiti. And maybe we can go closer to that bridge. I like bridges. Lower those geese again. I'm probably sure that I've got a very shaky picture here because I'm walking on a hard surface. And how these professionals do it, they obviously have it stuck in their heads, don't they? And I'm holding this. And, well, look at them. How many have got their heads under the water looking for food? Well, the water's quite clear here. It looks black on the surface, but you can actually see the bottom with the sun shining. So if someone says in the canal system, where is those black and white bridges and why are they up there? Well, it's on the Leeds Liverpool Canal. And they must be commemorating an opening of the canal or something because there's dates on them. 1861. You see it? Alright, a solitary person down the bottom there. I haven't even said hello to anybody so far. You'd think a nice area like this would be full of them, but they're not. A spiral staircase down to the towpath. I don't think you see that too often. I seem to have spent a bit on some parts of the canal, including this one. Bit of rubbish around, of course. That's the way I've just come from. And that's the way, I think that's an old wharf, isn't it? Not in use anymore. But that's the way I'm heading. And not many people around, just a few in the distance. You might miss palm trees growing in some factory forecourt or something. You'd easily go past that on a narrow boat and not notice it. Can you see it? They're real, I'm sure they are. Oh well, off we go on our way. Was that a moorhen? I don't know. Seems very friendly. Oh, not so now. Anyways, bridges, fascinating bridges around here, but they're not numbered. You know, I know them scouts because Bridge 27. Well, when are we going to get there? Because they're lettered here. I think they start with A, but I'm already up to L on this one. Interesting bridge that is as well. I'm looking eventually for Bridge O, which is Strand. There's a station there I might be able to get on. But I've no rush anyway, so sun's trying to come out. Did have a spot of rain before, but you can see there that can you see if I keep still? It's an L. And there we are, Liverpool, 2 miles, so I've walked a mile since last time. And Leeds, phew, still a long way. Anyway, you never know, might get there one day. Not a bad area, not a bad day. Okay, Bridge O, but this is unusual. I was going to get off at Bridge O and catch the train because it's a Strand area, but that's a gas pipe or an oil pipe. But I think it's been professionally done. That graffiti, bit of a tree. So someone's going to take the opportunity of painting it. So maybe they did it professionally. Got a Banksy in or somebody. Anyway, interesting I thought. So am I going off here? Am I going to rest up and have a cup of tea first? That's a good idea. Boat out of water. Sooty's art. People can sit there, relax, not just for kids. And this is Oriel Road area. And even Pub Court is a bit under construction now, called the Lock and Key, but there's no lock or key here, so probably from the old days. The weeping willows along the canal, they look very nice. Well, in this case, punctuated by a little growing area, and then back to weeping willows again. And this again, not a well-known area, but it's outside the Strand shopping area. With a beautiful countryside. They're all trying to beautify the canals, which is good. Yeah, it's nice view. That man there with his, not a real man, it's like a mannequin on the bank, but very nice addition to the canal side, especially when someone does a nice garden. And this is Aintree really, so not the most usually the pleasant of area. So we're just coming up to Aintree, the Grand National. So we'll hopefully take a picture of that when it comes along, perhaps another mile or so. Anyway, can you see that man on his bike? And this canal's full of coots. This one there. Oops, up he goes. I'm sure he'll take off, and as soon as I get anywhere near it. Oh, he's gone down the embankment. Can we see it? See his head. Oh, he's got some fish in his mouth. Look at that. Oh, you can see it going down this road. Wow, what a picture. What a picture. Oh, don't fly away. Come on, I know you're shy. Shares your fish suffer. That was a nice catch. A small one though, wasn't it? Hey, come on, little girl. Off you go. Well, that heron shot was here, quite close. Liverpool 10, just done 10 miles altogether in 3 lots, of course. So it's averaging just over 3 miles every time. Well, this time we've done a lot more. So if it's 10 miles from Liverpool, it must be about 116 or 17 to Leeds. 117 to Leeds. Oh well. In the distance there's I think that's the M58 or 57.